Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be doing a first impression of a new concealer, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, if you watch my videos regularly, I don't do first impression or reviews of concealers all that often because I'm gonna say it, I don't like to admit it, but I am very picky when it comes to my concealers because I don't know if you can tell, but I got under eye circles, pretty dark under eye circles. I will even turn my lights down so that you can see just how prominent they are. It's something that just really ticks me off. I'm like, why? Why, God? Why did you give me such dark under eye circles? Because I don't care how much iron I take because I am a little bit iron deficient. Did I just give away too much information? Well, now you know. So I take some supplements for my iron, but the doctor also says that it is just genetics. So I am blessed with the dark, heavy under eye circles. They're honestly not as bad as they could be. I'm just complaining a little bit right now, but it is something that I kind of struggle with. So I will say that my favorite concealer to date is probably the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer because it has such amazing coverage. And then the one that I used to use before that was the Kevyn Aucoin. The Kevyn Aucoin, oh my goodness, what is it called? Kevyn Aucoin Sensual, what? Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. That stuff is the shit. But that was a really long story about what my favorite concealers are. So now let's talk about the one that I'm gonna be reviewing. It is the new Clinique Beyond Perfecting Super Concealer Camouflage and 24-Hour Wear. So from what I understand, this concealer may have been around for a little while now, but I've been seeing it pop up in a few videos. I just so happened to get a full package with all of the colors last week. So I thought that I would try them out for you and just give you my thoughts. But one thing that really got me excited about the concealers and made me want to talk about them on my channel is the fact that there are 18 different shades to choose from. So you have an option for somebody with more fair skin tones to somebody with a really deep skin tone. There should be something in here to match you. And it does come with a color corrector. It's called Apricot, and you can see that that's definitely darker than my skin tone and it looks pretty orange, but color correctors are supposed to have a peach hue to them because that's really good for canceling out the blue that you see, like the blue purpley thin skin that you see underneath your eyes. I know I have it. That's the hardest thing for me to cover up. Like, yeah. I have a little fact sheet here that I'll read to you just so you can understand what we're talking about. It is supposed to be a long-wearing, full coverage concealer that stays put for 24 hours. No settling, no caking, no creasing, and the retail price for this is $25 in Canada, and I think that I saw in the States it's about $19. By the way, something really important to point out here is that Clinique sent these to me in sample size, which if you ask me is really quite decent because it doesn't exactly tell me how much is in this little tube right here, but I'm telling you right now there's a lot. Like if I had to compare the Tarte Shape Tape to this sample size of the Clinique, is a lot. And I do know that the actual full size that you would get if you were to go to the store and buy this is really decent, and that's fairly priced for the amount that you get. All right, so I'm just gonna go and apply my foundation and then we'll get into the concealer. And just a reminder, if you guys are new to my channel, click that subscribe button. I post new videos here every Friday. A lot of them happen to be product reviews because I love testing out new products, in particular foundation. The one that I am currently using is the Fenty Beauty foundation because I wanted to use this is one of my fave foundations, but I know it would be like a stable foundation to use, especially when I'm trying out a new concealer. And when I say stable, I mean that it works really good with my skin type because I do have more of an oilier combination skin type, and it doesn't cause the concealers that I wear on top to break down. Now I'm gonna go in with the color corrector first. Just check out the consistency. It's not super liquidy, which I usually appreciate because that means it's not gonna be thinning out too much on the skin. So I'm just gonna dab with my finger a little bit underneath the under eye. Focusing most of it, well, I kind of went a little bit too crazy, but you want to focus your corrector just where the darkness really is. So like directly right underneath that eye. Now that that's on, I'm gonna go in and apply one of the concealers. I'm looking at number 16. I feel like that might be a little bit too cool toned. I'm gonna try 18, which looks like it has a little bit more yellow to it. Yeah, definitely. Oh my, okay, I was just looking through the shades to see if I could find a shade that I thought would match me better, and I just want to show you in just a few seconds here, they've, I think, oxidized on the skin. So yeah, that actually makes me want to go a little bit lighter now. I think I may have found a color that matches me a little bit better. This is number 15, again this is the 18, and this is the 16, so I think that this is like a nice cross between those two, so I'm gonna do 15. And it says you can either apply this with your finger or a brush. I'm just gonna go in with my finger to start and apply it over top of that color corrector. So what I normally like to do with my under eye concealers is apply them obviously directly underneath the eye, bring them a little bit onto the nose because it gets rid of any darkness along the sides of your nose as well, and then bring the excess down and up, kind of forming that V. It really helps to brighten. Dang, that looks like it's a pretty good match. It blended out really nicely, and it's starting to get a little bit tacky on the skin, which I really love for concealers to have, because that means that they adhere to the skin and they don't move around too much, but it still feels a little bit creamy, like a little bit rich on the skin. So sometimes when I feel that concealers are creamy, they do move and they sheer out too much, so I can't build up the coverage. So I'm gonna give this like a minute to sit on the skin, and then I'll do another layer on top. But in the meantime, I'll do the under eye, or the other eye. What's crazy is this is 15 when it's first applied, and then the color underneath is 15 once it's oxidized, so you can see how much darker it gets. So definitely keep that in mind when you're choosing your shade. Everything looks really smooth. I haven't applied any powder yet, so it's too soon to say if it will continue to look smooth or if it'll get cakey with powder, but I'm actually kind of surprised with this side because I've had it sitting on the skin for a few minutes now, and it's not creasing like crazy in the under eye. Well, if I do this, you can kind of see that, but honestly, it's normal. Concealers crease on me. It's just a fact of life for me. All concealers underneath the eyes crease on me, but I usually judge it based on the one that creases less. All right, going in with another layer. And I'm not gonna apply too much, because honestly, sometimes the more product you apply to problematic areas, the worse it gets. In my case, that's usually where I get cakey, you know, where the product is like gathers and, or not gathers, it separates and gets really chalky looking. Dang, yeah, I'm loving how highlighted and smooth it's looking, and I'm really appreciating this glow that it's giving me. It just makes everything look really natural and healthy looking. Actually, with this eye, I'm going to, so I've already applied a little bit, I'm gonna blend it out with a brush. That actually looks to be a little bit better. So the powder that I've actually been loving lately, it's just new to me, I just tried it like this week, but it's the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Sweep and Lock. It's a translucent setting powder, and I was like, oh, what's gonna be different about this translucent setting powder versus the one that I was using the last time? But I've noticed less creasing with it, so I'm gonna tap a little bit of this, but before I do, I'm gonna make sure all of the creasing is blended out. And now I'm gonna tap a little bit of this on top. And I'm not one for baking my under eyes. I have tried. There have been many attempts, and they usually end up with me removing my entire face and having to start over. There's been a few times that I've done it before. I've had to go out for an event or something, or like something is important, and that has set me back. Like, let's not even go there. But basically, I just don't think I've mastered that technique, or honestly, I've tried the technique and it just doesn't work for me, because every time I do it, I just look like an old shriveled up raisin, basically, underneath the eyes. I think the concealer did a decent job. I'm not like super blown away, but I'm not upset about it either. I think it looks really natural. Personally, I do like a little bit more coverage, and some of the other concealers that I use do give me a little bit more coverage, but I actually really like the consistency of this concealer. It was really easy to blend out, and it doesn't look cakey in the slightest right now. I would say that if somebody had like half the amount of darkness that I have and just wanted to use it for highlighting, I think you'd really be into this product. But it's still early to say. It's only 12:07 in the afternoon, so I'm gonna continue wearing this for as long as I can, and then I'll come back and check in with you guys and let you know what I think. I tried to turn like some of my camera settings down so you can really see what I'm talking about, so you're not like, oh my god, what shadows are you talking about, Trina? There are shadows, it's just there's so many lights on me right now, but hopefully you can see this area. I'm just seeing more shadow than I want to. One thing that's kind of blowing me away right now is how good it's looking. Like when you get up close, should we get up close? Let's do it. Up close, it still looks really good. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look super dry. I have a little bit, and I mean a little bit like that going on in the fine lines, but literally there's no concealer that I've ever met that doesn't do that to my fine lines. But when you just look at me, it looks really good. All right, it is 9:30 and I am ready to give you my thoughts. I'm kind of bummed, I'm not gonna lie to you. It didn't go as well as I hoped, and I just want to point something out to you right now, that these lights, pretty flattering, and I'm gonna bring you up close in like a second here and you'll be able to tell for yourselves, but it just didn't have enough coverage for me, and I found that it actually wore off a lot from when I first applied it. Like you can see different stuff now that you weren't really able to see earlier, like this one freckle right here. Let's bring you up real close and you can see hopefully like all this, and it just got dry and kind of cakey in this area so that you kind of want to rub it back in. I can even turn my ring light down a little bit so there's not such the harsh light on me from the ring light, and you can see kind of what I'm talking about. My eyes just look tired. So unfortunately, the coverage just didn't last on me. I don't know if it's necessarily the concealer, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I struggle with concealer the most, and I haven't found one that's like the most amazing product ever. So I don't want to knock this product, I just don't think it's for me for a full coverage look. I definitely want to try it out with a different foundation, maybe different powder, different techniques. So if anything changes, I will keep you updated in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and make sure to check out my vlog channel. It's called Life with Trina. You can click this box that I'll put right here. It'll take you over there, watch some of my vlogs, say hello, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.